I had several favorite, interesting parts of being a student. My name is Geremy Lloyd, and I received my master's in public health policy and management from the Jinping College of Public Health. And I am also currently pursuing my doctorate in public health leadership from the Jinping College of Public Health, and will soon be a double Georgia Southern Eagle after completing the doctoral program. What am I doing after graduating? So if we look at me graduating from the master's program, immediately after completing my master's, I went on to intern and work full-time at a local public health department, DeKalb County Board of Health, which is located in Decatur, Georgia, and is a part of Metro Atlanta, Georgia. And at the health department, I served in various roles, from Ebola readiness planner to district healthcare coalition facilitator in the field of emergency preparedness and hospital preparedness. And so the bulk of my career has thus far, at least after completing my master's, has been in emergency preparedness and response. And so now I currently work at the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention as a public health policy and issues management analyst. So I've transitioned from local public health to the federal side of the public health sector. I had several favorite, interesting parts of being a student at Jinping College of Public Health. I could name so many, but I would have to say that my favorite part of being a student was being able to connect and learn from so many students and faculty and staff, and building those connections and relationships truly shaped my public health professionalism and my expertise and how I operate in the work settings today. I also appreciated the small research college offering, as it afforded me the opportunity to really connect on a deeper level, to engage in more in-depth research and more candid and meaningful conversations. So that would definitely have to be my most favorite part of being a student at the College of Public Health at Jinping. Again, I had several courses that provided me such thought-provoking conversations and such a thought-provoking learning experience that it really challenged me in so many different ways to think outside of the norms, or to get out of my normal way of thinking when it came to healthcare and public health, and many other fields that are so cross-cutting and applicable to the healthcare sector and public health as a whole. I would have to say, if I had to choose, I would choose public health policy and ethics, and health law would be my top two courses. These courses really have been detrimental to my overall outlook on how the health of the public is managed. I also enjoyed these courses because they really allowed me to hear different perspectives on how to approach various scenarios and how to analyze certain health policies and examine what is morally and ethically correct versus incorrect. And these courses really equipped me with the tools and skills needed to do my day-to-day job, but has also been cross-cutting in many positions and roles that I've had throughout my career thus far. So those, I would definitely have to say, would be my most favorite, or top two courses that really really strengthened and challenged my way of thinking when it came to the field of healthcare, public health, and just the world as a whole. Again, I'll say that there's so many cross-cutting elements and concepts that come with healthcare and health law and health regulations and health ethics that can really be applied to any field or any occupation. And so these two really, really honed in on that and gave me a new way of thinking and how I would be able to apply those skills, not only in my field of research and in public health as a whole, but also in my day-to-day life. Jinping really prepared me in so many ways to really take on various research opportunities and job opportunities after graduation. I have been afforded the opportunity to take on very senior and high level positions, as well as, mid to entry to mid level positions. But every position that I have held, I have been able to apply the skills and the tools and the lessons that I learned at Jinping to every opportunity that I have been afforded. I have had the opportunity to be a part of several responses, emergency preparedness responses nationwide, including hurricane seasons, H1N1 influenza seasons, Ebola, Zika, currently the novel coronavirus COVID-19 pandemic, as a healthcare and public health professional. And so again, that speaks to the volumes of the engaging conversations that I've had the opportunity to engage in at Jinping Su, but also the connections that I made and just the faculty and staff to be able to learn from them, as well as the students who were already working. Many were already working in public health, during my time in the field, actually working, doing hands-on boots on the ground work. And so being able to learn from them really prepared me, for life after graduation. I have held several roles in responses and emergencies and just in public health in general. I've served as a communication liaison between healthcare facilities and public health facilities, being able to marry the two. I have had the opportunity to serve as a co-deputy on the COVID-19 vaccine task force nationwide for the public health response at the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. Again, that speaks to the volumes of what has really shaped my professional public health and healthcare career, and all of the lessons that I've been able to take from learning and attending the Jinping Su College of Public Health to be able to transition those skills to my work and all of the opportunities that I've been afforded. And so that has really shaped my preparation or prepared me for the field of work that I currently work in.
Wow.
Best advice that I received while I was a student at Jinping Su would have to be is to make sure that I am cognizant in marrying academia with professional experience. I think that a lot of times, it's very hard to, or it's very, I don't want to say that it's very easy to get stuck in academia after being a researcher, but it kind of is. It's sometimes it's completely removed from the actual boots on the ground and those who are practitioners. And so I had one professor who told me to be sure to make sure that we are connecting the dots, that we are marrying the academic research to what is actually happening in the field, and being able to apply those skill sets and or experiences to be able to move the public health sector forward and to be able to serve our communities and strengthen public health within our communities. And so being able to take those research components and marry that with the what is actually happening in the community from public health practice is extremely important because without going into those communities and learning what is happening in the world, we wouldn't have the research. And so that was something that was extremely profound for me and that I really try to do in my day-to-day work, whether I'm out in the field doing research or whether I am behind the desk actually looking at literature and researching what has already been done, is really trying to pull from those experiences that have actually occurred, in the world. For incoming students, the best advice that I would give is to go at your own pace, but make sure your pace is aligned with your goals and the timeline that you have set out for yourself. Also considering the curriculum, because I know, in academia, with in any program, there's a set timeline when you're supposed to complete, your degree. I know for me, for the master's, it was 2 years. I believe that that's still the same. So I would say make sure that you're going at your own pace, but also try not to compare yourself to others because everyone is on a different, everyone has their own journey. So everyone is on a different pathway. The goals may be the same, but everyone's journey is not the same. And so that would be the best advice that I could give, is to go at your own pace. Make sure that you are passionate about the work that you are doing, because essentially you're the researcher. So you really need to be passionate about your research. And when someone is you're going to encounter individuals who may not be as passionate or may not, be familiar with the field that you are trying to go in, or the work that you're trying to accomplish and do. And this is your time to really justify and show why it is an important piece to the field of work that we are in public health, and really show to researchers that are already established of why this field of work is so important and why it's passionate to you, and really drive that home, no matter the naysayers, no matter who goes against or doesn't necessarily feel that it is important to this field or this body of work. You have to really be passionate about it and really show why it's important and why you got into the field of work. And so that would be my best advice, is to make sure that you're following your heart and your passion, but also being sure to not compare yourself to others, because everyone's journey is different. I know for me, with me currently being in the doctoral program now at Jinping Su, it's taken me a lot longer, excuse me. It's taken me a lot longer, but I will say again, I think that we all have, those comparative moments. And so I've definitely compared myself to many of my cohorts, but then I've also had to take a step back and look at my journey and say, well, it's different for me. My research is a little bit different than the norm, or than what has been researched before. And so there's reasons why it's taking me a little bit longer. And so I think that as incoming students, having that advice is critical when you have those moments of where you may be doubting yourself or feeling that, it's taking you longer than what you expected, or you're having those really low moments to where you can't see the light at the end of the tunnel. And so that would be my best advice.